Hey, Alice fans. Dennis Wagner here, also known as Rigel2601 on some forums. I've had my Alice Goes to Wonderland table for a couple months now and been inspired how many of you have modded your machines, and having been a digital player for a couple of years, I find that aspect of this machine very enjoyable, so I thought I'd share my approach on this. I'd like to thank several of the fellow members who have inspired my modifications. I've used some of their ideas, and as you'll see, I've added some of my own. Billy Woods, Dirty Socks, Jeff at Nick's Reviews, Mike Bell, David Hart of Hart Design Studios on Etsy, Geraldine Weidman, the Royal Designer at Etsy, RS3D Creations at Etsy, Olinka, Olga at Etsy, Rob at Arcade RGB, Etsy, Evil Genius Entertainment. There's probably more, but if I left your name off the list, sorry about that. But anyway, all of you have come up with some great ideas, and my theme has been one of a diorama approach to modding my table. You may remember dioramas from back in elementary school. There's usually some kind of project where you had to create a 3D scene or story. My 8-year-old granddaughter had to do that this year. She did a Arctic fox scene, and so that kind of got me thinking about how I could do something similar and basically use the table not just for a few characters but to tell the whole story. And so there's 2 books in Lewis Carroll's stories, and I wanted to try to create characters, or have characters from each chapter of those books. I've spent the last couple of months reading the stories to my grandkids, and so it's fun for them to come down and try to find the characters from the different chapters. So I'll start off, first of all, there's the 2 books, original books with the Tennyson diagrams, figures. There's the Disney cartoon, 1951 animated cartoon that kind of brought to life new variations and combined both books into one story. And then there's Tim Burton's 2010 movie Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass in 2016. So I think it's fair game to use any of those characters. They're different in style, but I've mixed and matched them, and as you'll see, I have different size characters. But what I'd say is the primary source of my characters is from a Japanese miniature set that was created in 2003. Kyoto Miniatures, and they have Alice's Tea Party sets. There's 4 of them with about 10 figures each, and then there's Alice's Adventure in Figureland that has 18 characters. And these are about 2 inches tall. I'll try to focus in here on some of them. Like here's Alice after she's crowned queen. That's the Red Queen in the chess form, 2nd book. The White Knight. This is the Griffin that appears in the Mock Turtle story. Here's the Mock Turtle over here. It was half turtle, half cow. Tweedledee, Tweedledum. Alice holding the Duchess baby, which turns into a pig. And of course, the Cheshire Cat, the caterpillar that came with the set, the little drink me bottle and eat me cookies. This one's the lion with the plum cake. This is Alice growing tall and her head sticks up above the trees and meets a pigeon who thinks she's a snake. That was one of my favorite there with their very tall neck. So those are all about 2 inches PVC, very detailed characters. At first I was a little disappointed in the small size, compared to the 3D print characters, which are 3 to 4 inches, like this rabbit with a watch from Heart Design. But I think the smaller size allows you to get more of them on there. I also have the Heart Design soldier spinners, the Heart Design Mad Hatter. In the second book, Alice finds herself on a train with a conductor demanding her ticket, and when she doesn't have one, he examines her with a telescope, a microscope, and opera glasses. The soldier painting the white roses red, the new Heart Design Cheshire cat that lights up in certain modes. There's a story in the second book of the walrus and the carpenter who eat some baby oysters, and that was dramatized in the cartoon. That was just a poem in the book, but the cartoon made a big deal about that. So I just found those, I think, on eBay. Of course, Through the Looking Glass, she enters the world through a mirror, so you have to have one of those. And we have the Jabberwocky dragon, and there's Alice slaying her with the special blade that's mentioned in the poem. Again, that was a poem in the book, but got dramatized in the cartoon. And you got, of course, the angry queen and the king, Humpty Dumpty, the playing croquet with the flamingo and the hedgehog, the frog foot soldier, the fish foot soldier, and the lobster dance that's featured in one book. So that's a great lobster figure from the Japanese set, and I got a few miniature glass lobsters that I threw in there. This was a Alice in Wonderland pillbox. We got a little lobster crawling out of there. And of course, everybody has to have a watch. I like this one I found on Amazon. And a little miniature Alice in Wonderland book I found at Hobby Lobby. So again, all of these, the Japanese characters you can usually find on eBay. Pay attention to whether they're shipping from Japan or the US. Shipping from Japan is expensive, but if you can find somebody reselling them in the US. And then I also have the lighted RGB speakers and the frame by David Hart. Anyway, I also have the matching one on the front. I also like these cards. They're one of my favorite features of the story, and so there's a guy on Etsy that makes these. They're like $3.50 for these cardboard cards. They're kind of too big to put inside, so I just decided to mount them outside. And then, in the second book, Alice Meets the Talking Flowers. I found somebody on Etsy who made those, and I just cut them off the stems and glued them on. I got one stuck way in the back there. That they had a lot of character to the table too. So again, if there's something specific you can't find, leave a comment and I'll try to find the link for the source. Oh, the one last thing was I thought the artwork was kind of dull on the inside, so I found this Alice card deck, and this one is kind of after the Tim Burton movie style images, and And so I liked those and picked those up. That was a way to add a few more characters in here, like the Dormouse, the Black Knight. And then I've got a full set of the royalty here for the Heart series, Rabbit, the Queen, the Duchess, Mad Hatter, Alice. There's about 10 different card sets, Alice in Wonderland card sets you can find on Amazon or eBay. I think this one was like only $5, and I thought it added a lot of color and variety to the table too. So, oh, and then the same guy that does the card soldiers up there, he does 3D acrylic. Have a little depth to them, and you can customize those. So I had my wife and I's name put on them there. Not that she's a pinball fan at all, but I wanted her to know I was thinking of her when I was playing. So, and then of course the David Hart Doorman, which is a great ad, and his custom frame, and another miniature door I found on Amazon to glue on there. Most of these, I wound up using the modeling sticky clay to put them on at first, and I also tried a glue gun. I found out that the glue gun stuff was great at first and easy to remove, but when you put the table vertical and there was more weight on that joint, they would sometimes fall off. So I moved more to the E6000 glue, which is semi-permanent. Once I've decided I want something, I use that. But until then, I use the modeling clay. You can see the blue stuff here. I built these little balsa wood platforms with risers on them to get them high enough up for the ball to clear underneath them. And of course that gives more space to add more characters. So that was really easy to do with some balsa wood and paint from Hobby Lobby. I think it's the Loctite clay mounting product that I used on that. So I hope you got a few ideas you can use on yours, and happy modding.